Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is Dan. Welcome to the Hangout. If you guys can hear me and see me right now, I'm going to enable the chat for just 1 second here. And if somebody could just type the number 1 into the chat box, let me know that you can hear me speaking. You can see my face and everything right now. I'm going to get started here. Really excited, really jacked up, and wanting to give this information to you guys for some time now, and finally put it together in a small package that I think can be useful to anybody, no matter what you're doing, no matter what business you're building, really anything you're trying to do to become successful, whether it's online or not. These three things I have found through really my blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story in just a second here, to be the quote unquote holy grail, I think, to success in anything. So I'm going to wait for somebody to let me know. Okay, awesome. Melanie, thank you so much. What's up, Melanie? Great to see you here. I'm going to actually disable the chat. So for those of you guys who are used to my normal style of hangout, actually tonight we're going to do it a little bit differently. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being on here tonight. Okay, you're here on a Friday night, which says a lot about you, and there's a specific reason why I did this tonight. Okay, first of all, I'm a big Montreal Canadiens fan, and if you don't know who the Montreal Canadiens are, they're an ice hockey team. Okay, and if you're not sure what's going on in ice hockey, well, the playoffs just started a couple of days ago. It's the second game of the playoffs. It's a big game for my team. So I decided to make a sacrifice during the game. You know, the sports is kind of like a religion to me sometimes. I'm sure if you're not like that about sports, you must know somebody who's like that. And I'm one of those like sports freaks, right? So I figured the game's on tonight, and it's already started. My team's down, but let me do this hangout in the middle of the game on Friday night, so that way I can make a sacrifice toward my business and really helping you guys out. It's a matter of really just putting priorities in your life and figuring out what's the most important thing. And right now, for me, you're the most important thing. So I want to thank you for being here. I know Friday night is not an easy night for people to get onto these things, but just the fact that you made it here tonight shows a lot about you. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a notebook. I got my notes here ready to go, something to write with. Grab yourself a nice little beverage, relax, get ready to have some fun. And I'm going to get started here right now. What I want to do actually really quickly is I just want to pull down off of my Google Plus page the feed, because this is really only for you guys who registered. So let me get that real quick and knock that out, and then we'll get started here. Let's see. Okay, cool. Let me get that. Boom. Delete. Become like an expert with these webinar panels now. I've done so many of them that at this point in time, I know all the little ins and outs. Should probably do like another training on how to do these webinars at some point in time, at some point in the future. Okay, cool. We got that taken care of. Great. So that's knocked out, and we're ready to go. So once again, I want to welcome everybody here. I know we got a bunch of people from the Top This Money team here. We got a bunch of people from my iPass team here, and a bunch of people who I don't know. I guess there's a bunch of brand new people or people who don't know me right now. I'm pretty sure most of the people on this hangout do know who I am, and I want to introduce kind of the curriculum for what we're going to go through. First of all, plan to be here for about an hour. Okay, I'm not going to keep you very long. I should be able to go over all this stuff rather quickly. Like I said, I disabled the chat box, so we're not going to be able to chat with each other, but the questions should be enabled. So if you want to ask me questions, I'm not going to promise that I'm going to get to all of them. I'm not even going to promise that I'm going to get to any of them, because I do have content that I want to deliver to you tonight. It's the purpose of this webinar, a little bit more of a less of an interactive experience than my usual trainings. And I'm going to go over what I'm going to deliver. I want to tell you about the three things. I want to tell you about what they are. I'm going to tell you about how they can work for you. But first, before I do that, for anybody who doesn't know me that's on this hangout right now, I just want to go over a brief version of my history and who I am. Since I've been doing this thing online and I've been delivering my story, I've been telling my story, it's been a really interesting experience for me. For those of you who don't know, I've been online doing this in the internet space for a little bit over 2 years now. It was January 27th, 2013, when I began my endeavor in my most recent attempt at online marketing. And it's been really weird because through that time, and even before that, I've been really telling my story for the last about year or so to a lot of people. And it's strange because when telling my story, more parts of my story tend to like pop up, like things even from my childhood are starting to like pop up, and I'm realizing like I don't even know where to begin and where to end sometimes. But nonetheless, I think the best place for me to start to let you guys know a little bit about who I am and why I'm qualified to deliver this information to you would be in 2008, when I was living in a town called Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And if you've ever been there before or ever met anybody from Lancaster, it actually is pronounced by those people Lankster. It's like there's no A in the middle. Lankster, right? It's like it's almost got like a southern thing to it. But nonetheless, it's a small town. It's a nice little town. It's a city. And it's Amish country, okay? And I went out there. I lived in New Jersey, New York for all my life up until that point. And I went out there really because I kind of was in a bad way out here. I had spent most of my 20s. I'm 37 years old now. Back then I was 30, and I spent most of my 20s, not living my life the best way. Let's just put it like that. And the fact of the matter is that I really needed a change of scenery. I felt at the time I needed to go somewhere different in order to get away from what I felt like I was kept getting drawn into out here, which is where I am now. I'm back in New Jersey now, actually, with a completely different mindset, and looks different, but I'll get to that in just one second. So I went out there. I had a friend who lived out there, and literally, if you don't know what's going on in Lancaster, then you know what's going on in Lancaster. Okay, there's really not a lot going on. Not knocking them or anything, but it's really just a bunch of like trees, Amish, and really very, very rural kind of place to be. Very slow, and that's kind of exactly what I needed at that point in my life. So I went out there. And stayed with a friend of mine, and I was working for a major retail chain at the time. And I don't know what led me down this search. It's been something that I've been thinking about for some time now. But when I was out there, I decided to learn the art of meditation. Okay, and I began from a book. I actually went on Amazon.com and I searched up books on how to meditate, and I found one that got really good ratings, seemed like an easy read, catered to the Westerners kind of, and I ordered it online. The book is called 8-Minute Meditation. And in a nutshell, that book changed my life. Okay, that was really the beginning of when I went from a person who's really angry and hateful in my life to somebody who's a little bit more on a smooth path, I guess you could say. Okay, and it's all a work in progress. It always will be a work in progress. But long story short, during that time, after being exposed to meditation, practicing meditation for a little while, I ended up kind of stumbling upon this industry called affiliate marketing. Okay, and if you are in a network marketing opportunity or an affiliate marketing opportunity or any kind of online business or anything like that, then you know what I'm talking about. But at the time, for me, it was brand new. I didn't know what it was, and I ran into a thing called ClickBank. Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you may have not. It's really kind of almost ancient history at this point in time, but it still does exist. So if you're interested in doing affiliate marketing for multiple different kinds of offers, you can check it out. I don't recommend it as a place to start if you're a brand newbie or looking for something new. I'm actually going to show you something at the end of this hangout that might be able to help you regardless of what kind of opportunity you're in. But it existed, and I gave it a run. Okay, I started trying to learn about how to market products, all different kinds of products, whether it be in the weight loss industry, diet and supplement, cooking, sports, all different kinds of things. And that's where I was really exposed to the internet marketing world. Way back in 2008. Okay, so fast forward, and I didn't have any success. I mean, I didn't sell anything at all. I didn't sell one dime worth of anything. I went at it for a little while, but I really didn't know what I was doing, and it was my first exposure. And I really kind of like left it by the wayside after about a year of kind of really just toying around and dipping my toe in the water. I'm going to get to why this is important and how this can actually apply to what I'm going to discuss this evening in just a minute here. But really fast forward a few years down the road to 2012, okay? And by 2012, I was still working for the same company that I was working for, only no longer living in Pennsylvania. I by now had moved to a town called Winter Park, Florida, which is just outside of Orlando. It's kind of like a subsidiary of Orlando. If you've ever been in Orlando, Florida, Orlando is the kind of place where all the surrounding towns are kind of like part of Orlando. Right? It's a giant kind of conglomerate of these little towns. And Winter Park is one of them. Nice place. I had a really good time living out there. Lived out there with my ex-girlfriend. And the fact of the matter is that when I was out there, I had progressed in my company. Okay, I had moved up in my company, and I had really been on this like career path with the company that I was working with. Only the company started to change 2 years prior when they got bought out by a big conglomerate. It went from a public company to now a privately owned company. So they were a company that was like tradable. You could find them on the stock market and trade their stock and everything like that. And they switched over to a private company. And things changed. To put it in 2 words, okay, things changed really fast, and I kind of sensed that, and it really went from a company, and I'm not knocking the company that I worked for and worked with or anything like that, but it really went from a company that I had my heart into over the course of the first 3 years that I worked with those guys, from the last 2 years to a company that I really just wasn't all about anymore. That's really the best way I can put it to you. Okay, so long story short, 2012 is coming, and it's the end of the year, and my girlfriend that I lived with was at a job that was running her ragged. She was working like 60, 70 hours a week where she was managing a restaurant. I was running ragged working at this job. And it was the end of the year 2012, going into 2013, and I really started to think, I just need to figure something else out. I need to do something else. I'm on this path. I don't know if there's going to be Social Security there for me when I turn 65, 70, 75 years old. Who knows? I actually overheard one of my regional managers, district managers, in a meeting that we were on a conference call together, and he was in the same room as me, and he was giving the meeting to everybody else who was in my position, right? So I overheard him saying that he had been with the company for 20 years himself or something like that, and he still is looking over his shoulder every minute. And this guy had just the previous year had the best numbers. They gave him a big award at this big dinner that they do every year, and he's looking over his shoulder. So I'm thinking, man, I'm only here like almost 6 years now, and what's going to happen with me, in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, am I going to be here 30, 40, 50 years? Who knows? Am I going to be here 90 years old working in this job? I mean, who knows, like I said, if there's going to be any Social Security there. So toward the end of the year, you start to think about things. You start to think about what's your New Year's resolution going to be. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with this new year? Are you going to, is more of the same going to happen? Right? Anybody who's ever had a weight problem or a drug problem or any problem of any kind, you know what I'm talking about. If there's anybody, I don't know if there's anyone on this webinar right now that can relate to what I'm talking about. But the truth is that, yeah, we tend to think about these things when the new year comes around, right? So long story short, it kind of popped into my head from years prior that maybe I should look back into this online thing again. Maybe I should think more about doing this online thing again. So I delved into it. I went out there. I said, I know there's people making money online. I know there's something to this. So let me go ahead and see what's up. Let me go ahead and see, is there a place for me in the internet world? And long story short, by the middle of, this was December of 2012 when I started looking into this stuff. And by the middle of January, I was sold. I mean, I was already in thousands of dollars into multiple products, companies, services. And what's more than that was I was just like 100% in, obsessed with everything that I did when I came home from work to before I went to work to my lunch breaks to everything in between, was studying this world of internet marketing, studying people who I was discovering, people like Dave Wood, Frank Kern, John Reese, even motivational speakers like Tony Robbins, Les Brown, even guys like Joel Osteen and stuff like that. I just started getting addicted to this personal development and internet marketing space, which kind of go hand in hand, by the way. I was sold. Okay. And 2013, January 27th, is when I pulled the trigger on one of my main business opportunities. To this day, my main business opportunity. And I got all the products and, thousands of dollars in and went hard at it. And I fell flat on my face. I failed miserably at the beginning, and I threw money away like wildfire. When February came around, my girlfriend came home one night, and she was working overnights in this restaurant. It's a 24-hour restaurant, and she came home one night on a Friday night, and she was crying. She quit her job. Well, she got fired from her job because she had to lock the doors to the restaurant because she was the only person there. She worked in a not so great part of town, and she got her period while she was trying to cook, serve, and run the restaurant at the same time. So she had to lock the doors because she couldn't run the restaurant like that. People call out, no one's there, and she's trying to do her thing. So she had to take care of herself. So she locked the doors. Long story short, somebody found out about it, called the manager or owner or whoever ran the place, fired her. Okay. And she came home crying, tears, all upset. And I did my best to console her, but it really made me think, because, sometimes when you're going through something, it's painful, but when you're watching your loved one go through something, that just lights a fire under you, what, it gets you going sometimes. And that's what I saw. And that really had me thinking. And that whole night, I went to sleep, I stayed up with her. And then when I went to sleep, I had to wake up for work the next day. All I was thinking was about, my life and do I really want to do what I'm doing now? So long story short, I walked into my job on a busy Saturday, and mind you, I worked in retail, and I walked into my boss's office, who I really liked a lot and respected. Okay. It's not like I hated my boss or anything like that. And I told him, I says, John, I don't want to work here no more, bro. It's just something I don't want to do. He says, Dimitri, because that's my legal name for those of you who don't know. Are you sure you don't want to, give your 2 weeks notice? And I said, nah, absolutely not, man. It's not something that I want to do. I don't want to do this anymore. Something inside of me told me, stop doing things that you don't want to do. And that's what I decided to do. And I didn't know where I was going, and I didn't know what I was going to do. But I do remember driving out of that place on a sunny Saturday afternoon and knowing that I was never going to work for another man's dream again, no matter what it meant. Okay, no no matter what it meant that I had to do, that was it, and I was done. And I was scared because I didn't know how I was going to support myself and what I was going to do, and I wasn't making any money in my network marketing business at all. But I took the initiative and pulled the trigger anyway because something deep inside me just told me to do it, and I never looked back. And fast forward a couple months later, still no success. $18,000 401k cashed in and spent in a matter of a couple of months. Girlfriend gone. Okay, now no more girlfriend. So now I'm doing this on my own and still not making money online. Okay. And then I started having some success. Then I started having little successes. Then I ran into a team of people and a strategy and a group of people that just really were there for me. And that's when I started applying some of the things that I'm going to go over with you guys tonight. And through the course of the last 2 years and the success and the ups and downs, it has been a struggle. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been made, but there's been times where it all got deflated and taken away, right? So throughout all of that, I've always been looking for what is it that's going to make me successful in the long term. And I told you at the beginning of this that putting my story together has been a bit of a spotty thing. It's come to me in little pieces, right? But what I've realized now is that I can boil all the success that I've had and all the success that I've studied others have had down to 3 simple things that literally anyone can apply. Okay, what I'm going to be talking about tonight is not technical stuff. I'm not going to give you the next secret marketing method because marketing methods come and they go. But what I am going to give you is I am going to give you the 3 things that I use, that I have, that I figured out that I can use to promote anything. So if I'm promoting a business opportunity now, which I am, okay, I can literally watch that opportunity fall or crumble right before my eyes and know 1,000% that it doesn't matter because I can go apply these 3 things to any opportunity, any business, anything, anywhere. It doesn't even have to be on the internet. See, the cool thing is that this stuff's been going on for years, okay? Since the beginning of time, since the beginning of industry, since the beginning of, you want to call it modern civilization, maybe even before that, right? These are things that, in my estimation, are kind of inherent in human conditioning, if you will, because I don't like to say human nature. I like to say human conditioning because I think everything is learning and conditioning. Now, the fact of the matter is that these 3 things are going to stand the test of time no matter what it is that you're going to do, okay? And with the internet, it just makes it a lot easier, okay? It makes it easier to connect. It makes it easier for just a regular individual to build a business because of the fact that you can connect with people instantly. I'm able to sit here in my kind of like bedroom office kind of deal, gym/bedroom/office kind of deal, and talk to you guys because of the internet, right? That's why we're able to kind of get in this room together and do this thing, right? So that's what I'm going to go over tonight, and that's what we're going to talk about, okay? So again, plan to be here like about an hour or so, and then I'm going to let you guys rock and roll. Let me get a sip of water, and we'll get right into the meat and potatoes of this thing. So the 3 things we're going to go over here tonight are all things that tie into each other, okay? And one of these things will not work without the other 2. I listened to a great basketball coach once say that any basketball game can be broken down to 3 statistics: field goal percentage, rebounds, and turnovers. Okay, and I believe he was including field goal percentage and free throw percentage in the same ball of wax for those of you who are basketball fans out there. But nonetheless, this is a similar kind of story. And this is a similar kind of thing that you can apply. So make sure if you're serious here, which I'm sure that you are, if you're here now, you probably are serious, but make sure you're taking notes. Make sure you're writing this stuff down, jotting this stuff down, and staying focused, because you're going to probably need to go back to this stuff and really practice it, especially if it's things that you haven't done before, or you've kind of done partially, or maybe you've done one or two of these things, but not all three. Or maybe you're already practicing this stuff, in which case, maybe I'm just going to verify that you're already on the right path, okay? But these three things are made to work hand in hand, and you're going to see kind of at the end of this how they all go together. So the first thing that is most important in anything that you're going to do is a thing that I define as clarity of vision, okay? Clarity of vision. Write that down. What that means is, how clear in your mind is the picture of the thing that you want? You see, most people know what they want, but everything is done to a degree, to a percentage, okay? And those people who say, I really want to quit my job, and I really want to be able to travel, and I really want to have nice things, and I really want to live in a nice house, those people know what they want, but they do not have clarity of vision. And if you're getting what I'm saying here, you're understanding that most people talk like the things that I was just saying. Oh, I really want this, I really want that, but they never took the time to sit down and really visualize and clearly describe in their own mind, crystal clear, what they want. To the point where if somebody asks you, can you describe to me exactly what you want? And it might be multiple things. It's okay to have multiple things that you want, but you need to have some kind of aim, and it needs to be 100% bright, clear, vivid in your mind, to where if you close your eyes, or even if your eyes open, you can see it, touch it, feel it, and smell it, okay? I'll just give you an example, and I think it's very important to protect your dreams, protect your goals, in my opinion. But I'm going to share something with you just to show you how powerful my clarity of vision is, okay? One of my goals that I have is a monetary goal. And I'll tell you, my monetary goal is to achieve $14,952,000, which breaks down to $1,246,000 every month, which breaks down to $41,533.33 every single day, okay, which is more than most people make in a year, right? That breaks down to $1,730 every hour, which breaks down to $28.84 every minute, which breaks down to 48 cents a second. How many of you on this hangout right now can tell me that you can describe how much money you need to make every second? All those numbers. You don't see me with a calculator here, do you? The reason why I'm able to dictate those numbers to you is because I took the time to sit down, write these numbers out, figure out why I need them, what I need them for, and break them down, and then continuously, repeatedly tell myself over and 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 over why I need this number, okay? I made a picture of it on my computer, and I open up the picture on my computer, and I stare at it, and I daydream. You know, some people will tell you that daydreaming is bad for you. You're wasting time, right? But the truth of the matter is that daydreaming is good for you if you want to succeed, right? If most people are telling you something, it's probably because they're already in the 99%. Your goal is to get out of that 99% and get into the 1% where there's plenty of room for you. The way you do it is to do the things that other people are not willing to do, so you can live your life the way that other people will not be able to, right? And I realized somewhere along the line that daydreaming and visualizing is good. When I sit there and I visualize these things, and I look at the ultimate car or the ultimate home or the ultimate vacation, and I put a physical thing to it. I watch a video of somebody unboxing something that I want, like whether it be a computer or a mobile device or whatever, and I keep watching that video over and over and over again. It creates that image in my mind. It creates it to the point where I can smell it, touch it, taste it, hear it, feel it. I want a beautiful home. Why not go take a vacation to where that home is and go walking around in the place, right? If I can, right? Get to know the people who live there now, if anybody lives there, right? I want a beautiful car. Why not go to the dealership and test drive that car and do it again and do it again and see what it's like to be in that car, right? If you can actually have a clear vision of what it is that you want, as opposed to a somewhat distorted vision or a mostly clear vision, my friend, 99% of the job is already done. Okay? 99% of the job is already done. So the first thing that you need to do if you want to be successful is you need to create a clear mental picture to the point where you close your eyes and you see that thing, no matter what it is, and you feel it in your bones. Okay? That, my friend, will dictate and guide all of your actions that you do. Now, it's gotta be clear. Okay? And we talk about that being 99%, right? Which brings me to the second thing in the magical formula here, which is 100% commitment. Okay? There's no such thing as anything else. It's either you are 100% committed, every fiber in your being, or you are 0% committed. 99% isn't going to do anything for you. 99% is going to give you the same result that 2, 10, 12, 15% is going to give you. It's going to give you the same exact result. Okay? So you need to be 100% dead set committed on what it is that you're doing. I can tell you, for a long time in my business, in my life, I was not 100% committed. I was totally 70% committed, and at times 90% committed, and then 2% committed, and up and down. And because I never made that decision to say that I'm 100%, to really just say, okay, it's all or nothing, then that's why I had struggles. Okay, and this happened in my business before I even got into the internet marketing business, before I even started doing anything online. When I made the decision to quit my job on that busy Saturday in retail, that was a 100% commitment. I knew that I was never going to do this again. Okay. And I was never, like I said, going to work for some other man's dream unless we were both mutually invested interest wise into what we were doing. See, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a paycheck for somebody. I don't think that there's anything wrong with working for someone else. Being an employee is not a bad thing, but you need to fully believe in what it is that you're doing. What happens is most people separate. They compartmentalize their life in a negative way. See, compartmentalization is good. It can be good, but it also can really screw you up if you're just going to a job just to get a paycheck, right? Because you're giving your money, your life, your time away really for nothing, right? When you could be investing it into whatever it is your dream is, and earning money that way too. And when you start giving value, that's when the money starts coming in. Okay? What people fail to realize when they're working a job is that they are giving value. Just the only thing is they're giving value through someone else's dream. You work for Ford, you're really giving value to Henry Ford's dream, right? Every single person who works for Ford, including the Ford family, right? They're all doing basically what Henry Ford created. The same goes for McDonald's. The same goes for anywhere else that anyone works, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with that if you're interested and invested in that, passionate about that. But what I've come to realize is that most people are not. Most people in this day and age want a little bit more than that. And most people want the ability to carve out their own destiny. And in this day and age, with the power of the internet and the way business is able to explode and we're able to communicate with each other like we are over the internet, it's the opportunities there more than it has ever been. Now, the key is you have to be 100% committed to whatever it is that you're doing. Having that mental image is one thing. Having that clear image is one thing, but just pounding it in your head over and over again is not enough. You do need to make the decision. And that's what commitment is about. Commitment is about making a decision. It's about making a decision and saying, that's it, this is it. Some people make a partial decision, which is partial commitment. And that can fall anywhere between 99% commitment and 1% commitment. But when you make that 100% commitment, you make a full-on, dead-on decision to do whatever it is that you choose to do. You see, you know what you want deep down inside. Chances are, if you're struggling with that right now, it's because you've had it beaten down deep inside of you by external circumstances, by, like I said, human conditioning. Other people have conditioned you to think that you can't have what you want, that you shouldn't think like a kid. But in my estimation, the more and more we think like a kid, the more and more we get what we want, and the more and more we're able to do the things that we need to do in order to succeed and be who we want to be. See, the revolution happens. We change this world one person at a time, and it starts with you, my friend. So the first thing that you need to do is get that clear mental image. And the second thing that you need to do is to decide that you are going to create that in reality and not take no for an answer no matter what, no matter how long it takes, no matter what blood, sweat, and tears have to be put into it. And then the third thing to round out this whole entire magic formula is to have the ability to take massive, consistent action. Again, write it down. Massive, consistent action. Okay? The key words being massive and consistent. See, taking action is one thing, but what happens all too often is you have someone who has clarity of vision. They can see clearly what it is that they want. You have someone who made a decision that they're going to do it, right? But they fail to take the actions, or they take one or two actions, and they don't take massive, consistent action. One thing that you can do is you can take whatever it is that you're thinking you're going to do. Say you want to make $100 today, right? And times it by 10, right? Why not make it $1,000? That way, when you fall short of 1,000, you've probably already hit your goal of 100, blown it out of the water, and then you can amplify your goals from there. It's great information I got from a guy by the name of Grant Cardone, who wrote an awesome book called The 10X Factor, that the main central focus of the book is about what I'm telling you right now, is to multiply your goals times 10. And as a matter of fact, if you're on this training right now and you would like to contact me to get a copy of that book, I'll give you a free copy of that book. So feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'm more than happy to share that with you. But what that enables you to do by 10xing your goals, multiplying whatever it is that you're trying to do times 10, it allows you to take more action than you would have normally taken if you just want to hit your whatever your goal is, right? Instead of just taking a few actions, 5 actions, 10 actions, sending out 2 Facebook ads, sending out 3 emails, talking to 100 people a day. Instead, I'm going to do 20 Facebook ads. I'm going to send out hundreds of emails. I'm gonna literally talk to hundreds of people today, right? And that, my friend, is massive action. And the only way you can do that is if you've already have a clear crystal vision and you've already made the commitment to do so. Okay. Now the other part of action is consistency. Okay, you need to, in other words, take these massive actions and take them consistently. You need to do them all the time. So if I'm going to send 200 messages to people on Facebook today, then I need to do that tomorrow. And I need to do that the next day. And I need to do that the day after. And you know what? When I get good at doing 200, then I need to start sending 2,000 messages. Okay, this is how you build. This is how you grow. See, the money that you make, it doesn't matter the opportunity. It doesn't matter the business. It doesn't matter where you're marketing it. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. It really doesn't. But it's all a general result of the action that you take. Okay, so you have a crystal clear vision to round things out and bring everything together, okay? And I'm going to go over a little bit of what I think not to do in just 1 second once I round this out. And then I'm going to offer you guys a little place that you can go to kind of further your education and help continue your search in this internet marketing success building journey, endeavor that you're on right now with me. But to round everything out, we're talking about the three things. Okay, so the three things are, and then once again, if you haven't written them down, write them down now. It's like I say on these hangouts all the time. If there's 100 people on this hangout, 99 of the people right now are just going to be listening to my voice and not going to actually do the thing. And then there's going to be that one person who's going to do it, and that's going to be the person who's going to succeed. I know because I hear it. The people who succeed, that listen to me, that work with me, they tell me, okay? And this is how I've succeeded. This is how the people who I learn from have succeeded, is by actually doing it, okay? So again, to bring it all together, write it down, you need to have a crystal clear goal. You need to have your dream, your vision, your goal, whatever it is that you're trying to do, crystal clear, an image of it drawn out perfectly in your mind to where you close your eye and it's there. Boom. Okay. You need to be able to make a 100% commitment to that goal being achieved. Okay. It's done. It's already happened. And then you need to be able to take massive, consistent action to achieve that goal until it has been achieved. Because, my friend, there's no such thing as failure. Failure is not permanent unless you accept it to be permanent. Okay? As long as you never give up on whatever it is you're trying to achieve, there's no way you can ever fail. That's the good news. You are a success in the making, right? It's just a matter of time. How much time? I can't tell you that. Okay, I couldn't tell for myself, and I can't tell for you. But what I can tell you is that I will never give up on you. I believe in you. There's literally millions of people out there who are doing what you're trying to do, who also believe in you. Okay, past, present, and future, and it can be done. And you are the only person who can make it happen. So don't worry about what anybody else tells you. Don't worry about what anybody else says. It can be done. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a couple of things, like what not to do or things to look out for while you're on this journey. Okay. First of all, be very, very careful of getting locked into a specific way of thinking, right? Outside of your definite purpose, your goal, your crystal clear goal, your achievement, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. But be wary of I have to attain my success through internet marketing only, or I have to attain my success through this company only, right? Or I can only attain my success with this company if I market on Facebook, right? It's great to be committed to things, and it's great to stay committed to things, but you need to also realize when it's time to change if something is not working. Okay, and the main one thing that you need to stay committed to, one of the main reasons why I talk about making a 100% commitment and setting a crystal clear vision, is because that's the thing that you need to be committed to. Okay, and by you doing your massive action on a daily basis, you're going to just keep reinforcing that every single day to the point where you're brainwashing yourself. I mean, you're literally brainwashing yourself. And there's a good brainwashing and there's a bad brainwashing, right? If you brainwash yourself with a dirty brush, right? Some negative stuff, then you're going to be spewing and living and putting out into the universe negative stuff. But if you brainwash yourself nice and clean and you get clear on what it is that you're trying to do, I believe most people are good, and I believe that you're good deep down, and you want to do good things. You want to do great things, and you're designed to do great things in this universe. And literally, it's just a matter of you realizing that and coming to terms with that and accepting it and doing it. Okay. So be careful getting locked in to having it happen any one way. In other words, another thing is be careful of your friends and your family, because even though they really do mean well, they just don't know what I'm talking about right now. Most people don't know this stuff, right? And this is why you're here. You're here because you are the rare one. This is why you're going to be successful. Is simply because you're here right now. You're listening to this stuff. If you've never heard this stuff before, or even if you've heard it before, you're being re-educated and educated at the same time. And that's what I do too. Is I attend training similar to the one that I'm giving to you now all the time, because I continually want to hang with people that are very much like me, that think like me, that are really want more out of life than just the traditional way of life. Okay. And have I lost friends? Have friends moved on? Yeah, that's happened. But at the same time, again, we're working towards something that most people can't have because they refuse to do the thing that you want to do right now. So be careful of those people. Okay. I'll take one more little sip of water here. Now, the other thing that I wanted to say to be careful of is those people who are going to criticize you. And really, all that comes from the criticism comes from a fear or a reflection of that person's self. When someone sees someone having success doing something that they haven't done yet, right? They have sometimes have a tendency, especially if you're on social media, to go ahead and cast stones, because it's really easy to cast stones from behind a computer where there's no camera or anything looking at you. Send a message on Facebook and say something nasty or whatever. And especially when you realize that people are dynamic. So many things happen to people in the course of their lives that it's hard to tell where people are coming from on a daily basis. Maybe someone's mother just died, or maybe their significant other got diagnosed with a disease or something like that. And we don't know how we would react to that. So that's why you have to be careful of negative criticism or criticism of any kind from anywhere. It really, emotion in any way needs to kind of be taken out of the whole thing, right? Because we get freaked out on our emotions all the time. So it's really best to keep an even keel, do our best to lay low with our emotions. And my theory is, if we don't have something nice to say, just don't say anything at all. Take the punches if they're going to throw them. Let them hit you. And success is the best revenge anyway. So like I said, you're destined for success as it is anyway. Okay. And the other thing that I wanted to say about what to kind of look out for, what kind of not to do, and what kind of what to sort of steer away from, if you will. And this really goes for kind of anybody in anything. It's not just a marketing thing. It's really anything that you're doing. This is kind of a key thing. Um, you can always do more all the time, right? You can always be doing more all the time. So if you take a look at what most people are doing, and I went over this previously, usually you can figure out what it is that you need to do by doing the opposite. So essentially what I'm saying in a nutshell is almost anything in life you can really boil down to, if you want to make a difference in whatever it is that you're doing, look at the people who are already doing that unsuccessfully and do the opposite of what they're doing. Right? So really, this gets boiled down to do the opposite of everyone else, right? Don't do what everyone else is doing. See, this is especially helpful for the people who are in the network marketing world here, which probably most of you are anyway. That's probably how you found me. And like I said, I got people from my teams on this thing. So one thing that you can do, for example, if you are on Facebook, which most people are anyway, right? Even if you're doing some kind of paid marketing or some other form of marketing, most people are on Facebook to some capacity if they're in the internet marketing world. And what you'll see most people doing when they pitch their internet marketing opportunity is, hey, my name's John, and here's why you need to join my company. Have you heard about this? Our compensation plan is so awesome that if you only get 3 people and then they find 3 people, you'll be making $60,000 in 2 months. And we're a brand new company, and we're on the Forbes Fortune 500 list, and blah, 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 blah. And that's what you hear all day long. But what you don't hear people saying is, hey, John, how are you? Happy birthday. Oh, I see that you're into golf. Oh, cool, man. I'm into golf too. Yeah, yeah. I really. Where do you live? Oh, Georgia. Oh, there is some real great golf courses over there. Oh, okay. Cool, man. Oh, so you have 3 kids. How old are they? What are their names? Oh, okay. Cool, cool. And you've been married 6 years. Wow, that must be. And you work in the. Oh, you're a chef. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, you went to culinary school. Awesome, man. That's something that I really really admire. Oh, and you like to play guitar as a hobby? Oh, that's great, man. As a guitar playing is something awesome. I love to listen to a great guitar player. Hey, do you have anything I can listen to? Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll check it out. And take your time. What am I talking about? What am I doing here? Striking up an actual conversation with a human being, talking to somebody like they're a real person, right? Instead of talking to somebody like, you're the robot. You have to tell them why your business opportunity is so great. And once you start to realize that, you start to realize it's not the business opportunity that you're selling, it's you that you're selling. If you're in the network marketing world, this is going to be the last part of what I'm going to tell you not to do, and then we're going to move into a little community that I want to offer to you guys in just a second here. But if you're in the network marketing world, and I did this for a very long time. Don't get me wrong, but it's probably the worst thing you can do from a marketing perspective to go out there and talk about how great your company is. All the time. It's okay to do that every now and again, but I got a trick for you. I got a little tip for you. Even if you're going to do that every now and again, that will not be the reason why most of the good people join you end up joining you. Okay, so what? And I got wrapped into this too. Is I felt like I had to post about my opportunity all the time. Because if I didn't post about the opportunity, how do people know that they need to buy from me? Meanwhile, it's from hangouts like this and getting to know people on a real level, on a real basis, why people buy from me. Right? That's really the reason why. Okay. It's really the things that I didn't realize, like my flaws and my negative things that people are actually attracted to, and they realize that I'm an actual human being through this kind of thing, right? And I don't have to talk about like anything. People just get to thinking like, okay, here's a guy on a video. He's obviously doing something, and I've listened to him talk maybe 2 times, maybe 10 times, maybe 100 times. Let me ask him about what he does, or let me just like creeping people on his Facebook wall, you know what I mean, and figure out where I can find a link, which is what people generally do, and there's join the guy. And that's how I get most of my sales, almost every single time. It's a thing called attraction marketing. And once I stopped like promoting the business opportunity only and vomiting all over every single person, changed my business forever, changed my life forever. And you know what made it a heck of a lot more fun for me too. So if I'm going to give you one last thing not to do, is not to spew all over everybody about your business opportunity. Instead, Talk to them about them. Compliment the people on what they're about. Get to know the people. Ask them questions about their own life. I always use the acronym FORM, FORM, right? Ask them about their family, ask them about their occupation, ask them about what they like to do for recreation, like hobbies, things like that, and then deliver the message, whatever your message is, okay? And in my estimation, my message isn't even anymore, hey, here's my business opportunity. My message is like, here's some free stuff, check that out. You know what I mean? And here's some cool stuff like pertaining to what I do. If it's like an offer about like weight loss or something like that, or dietary supplements, you could give them some cool information about that stuff. You know what I mean? First, maybe like a free download or book or whatever it may be. And get them kind of like ready to I guess warmed up to whatever it is that you're offering. For me, it's a lot of like personal development kind of stuff, so I'm always offering things that are related to like personal development, improving your business, stuff like that, and that's what people get attracted to in my space. So that is the training for tonight. Thank you for being here, my friend. I really, really appreciate you. Now, before you go, I do have something for you, okay? It's an opportunity, alrighty? And the reason why I'm offering it to you is simply because this is something for me that helped change my life in much more than just a monetary way. Some of you may know what I'm doing here. Some of you may have already I know some of you on this hangout right now are on my team, okay, in this particular opportunity. Some of you are on my team in other opportunities. But the fact of the matter is this is where I find most of my mentors, okay? This is a community that I am part of and have been part of since January 27, 2013, when I started online. This is where I built and continue to build all my training, my marketing training, my personal development training, everything pertaining to my business and my life since the beginning. It's also a residual income-based opportunity. So if you want to make money, you don't have something to make money with, you can do that, all right? And in my opinion, it's life-changing, right? This company, in my opinion, guys, is the forefront of the network marketing business on the internet. I believe deep down in my soul that, the old phrase, the revolution won't be televised. I believe that that's true. And I believe the revolution sure as heck will be broadcast over the internet on hangouts and trainings like this. And it is happening right now under our feet, and it's a peaceful revolution, okay? It doesn't have to be a violent revolution, and it happens inside and begins with each and every one of us. It happens inside of you, and I believe the company that I'm working with here is at the forefront of that, at the tip of that, and I believe that we're the most powerful community of organized philanthropic entrepreneurs in the world, and we are only just beginning right now. Also, we can lend ourselves to any business opportunity. So if you already are in a business opportunity, then you can learn more about your business opportunity, how to promote it, how to make it stronger from what we teach in our community. We're just really at the cutting edge of what's happening online today, and I believe that deep down inside of my heart. I want to offer it to you really as a thank you for being here on this hangout with me. So if anybody needs anything from me at all ever, please feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I mentioned the 10X rule by Grant Cardone, so you can hit me up and I can get you a copy of that, so you can check that out if you'd like, 100% free. Also, you can always check out my blog at dandibiase.com. It's just my name, and I'm always posting trainings and stuff over there. And I'm going to wrap this thing up. I really appreciate everyone being here. It's right about 9 o'clock, so we're right on time right now. And I hope everybody enjoys their Friday night. So you should see, once I wrap this thing up, I should go to my like frozen screen here, and you should see the opportunity pop up. You can read a little bit about it, and if you want, you can click the link and watch the video and learn more about it. Alrighty, so I hope to see you soon. I appreciate you being here, and I want you to enjoy the rest of your weekend. I love you all. I believe in each and every one of you, and please, whatever you do, do not forget the 3 things. I hope you wrote them down, right? What are they? We'll go over one more time really quick. Crystal clear vision. Get your goal crystal clear. 100% commitment to that vision, right? Massive, consistent action. You do those 3 things, you cannot fail, my friend. I really appreciate you. I love you, and I will see you next time. This is your boy, Dan DiBiase. Peace and out for the weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.